Everyone. You guys are tuned into KROJ 101.5 FM. We're coming to you guys live from our studios here in San Fernando, Pueblo de Salud, broadcasting from Panorama City. This is Voces Unidas, Las Comadres. I am Comadre Diosy. I'm here with
Comadre Maria.
Comadre Alex.
And we're coming back, y'all, from our little musical break. We're here with our guest of the night. Woo!
Woo!
Like we said earlier, this is a musical guest. And we're really excited to get to know what instrument that they play and just to get to know them a little bit. We met them at the Tia Chucha's open mic that we hosted with LA Poet Society last Friday. And it was such a beautiful evening filled with a lot of different talents, and this one specifically is Xochipilli Spirit. And I just want to introduce you. So, how are you doing?
Oh, great! Thank you, Yossi and Maria and Alex, for inviting me to your radio show. It's wonderful. I'm doing okay. I'm just happy to be here and to share my music.
Thank you. You shared a little bit about yourself. You sent us a little bit of a bio of yourself, and you talked a little bit about your upbringing in Mexico and learning how to play the flute when you were in middle school, and how you stepped away from that and then you came back to it, right? And so I want to get to know a little bit about that story, right? Of what that was like for you.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I got interested in playing the flute as a result of when you go to school in Mexico, you have to take music, and the simple instrument is a flute. It's a recorder, and for me, when I started playing the recorder, I was like, that was my escape as a young kid. It's like that instrument. Whenever I felt disconnected with family or whatever was going on, I always resorted to the flute and just sound it out, and try to play the songs that I like, just sounding them out, and that was my passion at it.
Mm.
Wow.
And then, obviously, as I grew up, I started focusing on an education, and I lost track of my music inspiration. But came a time where I was so tired of doing the same thing. I was like, wait a minute, I like music. Why don't I continue with that path? And I picked it up again, and I found it that I didn't forget much. I just needed to practice a little bit, and I picked it up really quick.
Mm.
How long ago was that you picked it back up?
About 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on and off. But I also play the guitar, so I learned to play the guitar. I feel that I'm more. The flute is my main instrument,
Mhm.
because It's almost like I connect from the heart, and just make some sounds.
Mm.
Wow.
You described your music as healing. What does healing through music mean to you, and how have you seen that, with your audience?
Yes, mostly is I realize that while playing, I don't necessarily play music from like other artists,
Mm-hmm.
but I just play from the heart. Whatever comes in. I just let the flute flow, and I like to play in meditations.
Mm.
So I tend to play in meditations, and I realize that when I play, people seem to transform themselves a little bit
Mm-hmm.
to be more peaceful, and so it's like, yeah, maybe that's what that's why I play the flute, because there is no I don't know, I just like to connect with people. I like to
Mm.
help, if they're going through some hard times. I have found out through my own experience that while I play the flute, wow, it's just there's a part of your brain that disconnects you from all of that and gets you back to your essence, you know. And that's what I love about the flute, because you know when you play from the heart, it's just like, you know, sometimes it's like the flute playing itself, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you compose all your own music? You say you sort of feel the music from the heart, and it's kind of like an extension of yourself. And so do you go through a process of writing music, or how do you sort of come up with your music and your melodies?
So far, it's just been in my mind, so I don't write it.
Okay.
I just, you know, remember it. I start playing, and one note leads to another note,
Okay.
and then it leads to a pattern, and then from the pattern goes into something. Like it evolves.
So would you say that like no song is the same?
No song is the same.
Wow. That's
But
beautiful.
there's, but you have the little melodies that you know they stay there. So in a way, it kind of identifies you as a musician. You know, like you know, if you look at any musician, no matter what songs they play, like you know, whatever they compose, you can, as soon as you hear the song, you know it's them. There's a signature, you know, and that's how I feel that everyone has a signature, and I feel it's connected to the beating of your heart. You know how you hear it, and so the melodies come. You know, I feel that way. That's how I get the melodies.
Yeah.
And then I just, you know, feel the moment, the present, and I
Yeah.
just flow with it.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow. You said that. So for many years, you said you weren't playing at all, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And so during that time, was that like, did you feel like you were missing that? I know you said you kind of eventually realized, but or how was it like going so long without it and then coming back to this thing that you played as a child?
As a profession, I'm a computer engineer,
Oh wow.
and so you know, my mind got so used to the logical thinking, so in developing the software, and at some point, you know, you keep doing the same thing. Don't get me wrong; it's beautiful to write software. You know, it's like you using the power of your mind. But at some point, it's like, well, I'm just creating this thing for someone else. I'm not creating anything for me, you know. So, I started a spiritual path, and the spiritual path led me to come back to the flute, you know. So the Native American flute is when I heard it, it was like, wow, I wanna play like them.
Yeah.
That's what inspired me.
Wow. So your connection to the Mexica, the Azteca, the Tolteca,
Toltecas.
the Maya, you have a connection to their teachings, right? How do you integrate that wisdom into your music?
Yeah, you know, doing the spiritual seeking, you know, realize that, you know, even though I'm from Mexico City, I was born in Mexico City, right where the Mexicas are from, the Aztecs. I wasn't connected with any of that, you know. And then when I came here and I became an engineer, and I felt there was something missing, and so I started going back to learn more about our culture, our ancestors, and then wow, to my surprise, you know, so I wish I had picked this up earlier, because there's so much knowledge, and this knowledge it's a powerful knowledge that most people don't understand. That this knowledge is way older than, you know, a lot of people think like the cultures from India, you know, it's one of the oldest, in China, you know, we're at the same level, you know, so we have so much knowledge, and that encouraged me to pursue the music, you know, because one of the most important things is like, how do you awaken your consciousness, you know, how do you gain control of yourself, so that you don't fall into the trap of this, you know, illusion and how they're controlling us, you know.
Yeah.
Because basically everything around us is a program, you know. That's the other thing about me, about being an engineer, that made the connection, because everything's like similar, you know. So through the basically through the seeking and playing the flute, it kind of like puts me in the state of thinking, of connecting with self, and seeing a lot of things that I didn't see before. And but the most beautiful thing is making that spiritual connection, you know, seeking the spiritual connection. I think when you find it, you know, every person has their own truth. You know, somebody can tell you, you know, do this, I do that. But if you don't feel it, you'll never know. It's just somebody else's experience, right? And that's what I found also through reading a lot of the books. You know, it's beautiful what I hear, what I see, but I don't you know, I need to feel it too. I want to connect with myself. And so that's what every person has to do their own seeking, you know? You know, yeah, we have already so many people that have lived their experience and they have left behind the knowledge, right? It's la sabiduría. And so it's nice. But does it mean that that's it? No, I don't think so. I think there's more than that, you know? But nonetheless, that opens up your mind to seek for more things. And as you seek for more things, you can wake up more of your consciousness, you know? And to me, music has allowed me to connect with this spiritual seeking.
Wow. So when you wanted to, or when you began that journey of learning about this ancestry and this indigenous knowledge, like where did you go at first? What did you said you read books, but were there also like mentors or people that guided you, or how did you learn about that?
Yeah, we have the University of YouTube.
Yeah, we do.
I started there. I mean, you know, but you know what's amazing is that when you hit the right frequency, you tend to attract more of that frequency. See what I mean? So if you find an interest in a specific topic and you search it, then that leads you to something else, and then that leads you to something else until you start getting into the path. And it's interesting that not all of it is written. There are people that you know, a lot of our knowledge, ancestral knowledge, is vocal. It's just, you know, they didn't write it. And so, you know, after the invasion, you know, obviously, you know, people had to protect the knowledge. So they managed to hide the knowledge in disguise, going along with the oppressors, you know what I mean? So, and that knowledge is coming back. So it's coming back because, you know, it's being passed on by people who have carried the knowledge, and they're just bringing it out.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Yeah.
And you know, the beauty also, the other nice thing is like our ancestors learned a lot of this stuff through observation only, you know? None of the beliefs or, you know, it's just observation. So like the La Piedra del Sol, which, you know, some people call it the Aztec calendar, all of that was put together by observation, you know? So, and then the Nahuatl language is also a beautiful language that is all by observation, you know? It's all based on observation, terms given to things that happen. So there's no illusion. There's no ideas, no pretense, nothing. It's just what you see is what you get, you know? Yeah. And that's how we gain that knowledge.
Wow.
And hence the music too.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, you have several instruments here, I don't know if they're all flutes or all recorders, but maybe the people listening on the radio can't hear, but if you're on YouTube later, you can see them. How did you come about getting these? Did you, like, where are they from, or how did you see you have a nice collection, or
yeah, like, several. What's the difference between them? Yeah. And like, are they all from the same materials? They all look very, very delicately made. And I mean, just from being at like the hardware store, I know you can't just pick up any wood to make something so delicate.
You could pick up any wood. You just
Oh.
have to know how to
How
make the
to
flutes,
make it?
yes.
Oh, okay.
You know, this one I have here is a small flute. This is made out of bamboo,
Oh.
and this comes from Peru.
Mm.
You know, and it's amazing. Like, you know, Peru. I mean, there are a lot of people with so much beautiful knowledge in music, and I mean ancestral knowledge. And so I picked up this flute, and I was, this, just every flute has its own personality, you know, and and also I've been to several places, and I have met in the internet as well other musicians, and because I feel passionate about musicians that play the Native American flutes. I found this guy called Weira, and he's from Peru. He used to live here in the United States, and he was very famous here. And so I contacted him and said, hey, you know what? I'd like to get a couple flutes from you. And he's an amazing person, very beautiful being. And he sent me this one.
Wow.
So it's from
That's
Peru as well.
beautiful.
And I have another one that I acquired through another person who I ran into online. He was making flutes, but this particular one is they call it a drone flute, right? A drone is like two chambers, so it's like two flutes in one. Could be more chambers, but this particular one is two. So I'll play it surely, but it sounds very beautiful. And this guy's from New York, and he has a very unique way of making flutes. And one of the nice, interesting things about when you look at a flute, whether the person that makes the flute is a professional or has a lot of experience, is by looking at the holes, right? These holes here, they look pretty consistent. There's some flutes, there are people that are learning to make flutes. So when you make a hole, to get the next note, you make another hole, but you don't know exactly where to make the hole. So the diameter of the hole can helps you get the sound. So to the next note. So some of them are small. So some flutes have big holes, small flutes. So when you see a flute that has consistent hole size, that means they mastered the structure of this flute, and it's beautiful how it takes practice. So that's why I admire this person who made this flute, the drum flute. And then also I also have another flute. I have many flutes, right? I had so many flutes, but I have this one. I really like this one too because this was created by a Navajo indigenous person, and it sounds so beautiful. And it's just you can tell. I don't know. Remember what kind of wood this is, but it sounds very beautiful. Every wood vibrates different, and carries a beautiful vibration to your heart. And there's another thing about flutes that I need to mention. So there's the 432 frequency hertz, kind of like the bass frequency, and there's the 440, right? 440 is what's commonly used right now. And the truth about it is that it was modified in a way to kind of change the vibration healing on humans, because the 432 is more connected, is more in tune with nature, with the heart of the planet, and the vibration. So when people were creating these instruments, and they found out what the frequency was, a healing frequency, they started using that frequency. But because whatever forces are out there, they don't want humans to be happy and prosperous and joyful. They had to change it to kind of change the way you think, like, change your state of mind when you hear the music. Sometimes, you can tell. Depends on what the music you hear, you can tell. When you hear the 432 frequency, it does resonate with your cells, the body. And so that's why it's healing. for a lot of people.
That's interesting. Yeah, I've done my research about that for the Hertz music and different frequency ranges. I know, like, for me, when I make music in the program I use, you can alter it, and like, yeah, when you open it, it's immediately 440 hertz, which, like you said, is the. And to my understanding, it's like that is like the most I don't know how to say it, but like that if you go up or down either direction hertz, it's like better for you. It's more connected to your different energies and chakras, and better for, like you said, it's more grounded to earth, more connected to the heart.
Yeah,
So that's
no,
interesting.
I mean, there's so much about the frequencies. I can tell you, like, back in the 1800s, they had this metal, like iron bells they put in churches. When they hit them and resonate, those vibrations were healing frequencies. And then at some point in history, they took them all down and they buried them and they got rid of them because they don't want healthy people. They don't want people to be healthy. They want to always be sick. And that's the part that I try to encourage people to kind of do a research, what you want in life. If you're feeling sick, I mean, compared to other people, it's like, you have to find out what's really making you sick, things that we eat, how we, what we're thinking, putting all the stress. So you got to connect with yourself. You got to find your essence. You know what I mean?
We started today's show with a little breathing.
Yeah.
So we did like a couple of deep breaths in the beginning of the show, which is it's kind of funny now that we kind of set the tone for the rest of the show. But yeah, I would say I agree with you. I think like people really need to come back to themselves and
you were just saying that too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we were literally just having this conversation, just like in the beginning of the show, and
we even talked about frequencies too. I think we mentioned that.
Probably.
Without even really, without even really knowing that this is what we were going to be talking
They
about.
were on the same frequency.
You guys remember I mentioned Tonatiuh, right? Tonatiuh? You know who is Tonatiuh? Tonatiuh is the sun.
The sun.
The sun. And that's the Aztec name, Tonatiuh. So Tonatiuh, it's if you look at the stone of the sunstone, you're gonna, in the center you're gonna see Tonatiuh, and the figure has his tongue sticking out, right, like this, and looking at the sun. So it's in a way that our ancestors left behind a way to kind of, in a way, help you heal you, like through breath. And it sounds funny, but it's like breathing like a dog. When it's tired, when it's hot. But it's essentially an example. If you ever feel like anxiety, try this. Just put your tongue outside like this and go and breathe like that for a while, and you're gonna notice how that goes away.
I'm going to a concert tomorrow, and I get a lot of anxiety at these concerts, so I'm gonna try that.
Yeah. Wow. No, that's so interesting because like, I feel like there's a lot of these practices, meditations, medicines that have existed for us and our cultures for, like you said, thousands and thousands of years. Nowadays, it's like there's been this whole, like, it's been co-opted by these kind of like hipster new wave, like whatever, pseudo religious ties, and like they try to make it seem like it's this brand new thing, and it's like, oh, this is just new wave, whatever. And it's like, well, a lot of this stuff has been with us for thousands of centuries and years, thousands of years. And like, there's different alternative forms of medicine, like you said, with the music, the flute, or like different healings, or the sun, these different things that we aren't taught growing up in this Western culture. And so that's really special, really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I want to try that too. I want to try that breathing technique.
Yeah, I mean, just, like I said, going back to like the whole breathwork stuff, like it really does help. And the flute is breathwork. You know, you're
It
breathing.
is.
You are,
You're right.
I didn't think about that.
yeah. Like it's the same thing with the harmonica. You know, it's breath work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's each instrument. You know, for me has its own element, right? And the drums is like, you know, the earth to me.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
like the drums and like the guitar, like electricity, like fire almost. And so like to me like that's how I see it, and I really do believe like the flute is breathing is and through that breath, you know, we, like you said, you heal others, and with the frequency. And so it's so beautiful, and I'm getting so enlightened right now. Like I have so many. I'm gonna have to go home and write after today's show. Write some poetry or something. But I do know we have a second portion of our show with you. A second portion of this interview, which is gonna be you're gonna play some of your instruments for us. So we're gonna go ahead and break. Unfortunately, I want to talk more. I have a couple more questions for you, but I'll pick your brain out of the studio, and we're gonna go ahead and come back and listen to you play a little bit. So, you guys are tuned in to KROJ 101.5 FM. We're here with Xochipilli Spirit, and Alex Infinity, Comadre Maria, Comadre Alex, Comadre Diosy. This is Las Comadres on KROJ 101.5 FM. We'll be right back, y'all. What's up, everyone? We are back with KROJ 101.5 FM. You guys are listening to Las Comadres. We have Xochipilli here, who's going to play some of his instruments for us. Enjoy.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening. It's beautiful to be here. I am happy to share with you my music. And remember, all the music that I play today is coming from the heart. And I recommend, for you to close your eyes when you hear the flute, and just let your mind be grateful. Be grateful where what you are. Everything is good. Life is perfect. Don't may not seem like that, but everything's beautiful. You're alive. That is the beauty. It's a gift to be alive. So don't let the conditioning get you. So I'll share with you. I'll start playing with one of my flutes and there's no title for this. I just call it gratitude. So here we go. Okay, continue closing your eyes. I'm picking up another instrument. Here we go. Continúen cerrando sus ojos. Solo también quiero recordarles quiénes son. Ustedes son su propia esencia. Cada uno de ustedes es un regalo de la vida. El Creador nos puso aquí para darte cuenta quién eres, amarte, y al amarte, lógicamente vas a amar todo lo que ves, todo alrededor de ti. Aquí estamos para disfrutar esta existencia, no para vivir en el sentimiento, en el drama. Somos amor. Somos creados por el Creador. Y por ello somos el Creador. Cada uno. Solo recuerda que tú estás aquí con un propósito. Y ese propósito es existir, de propagar esta existencia, esta vida. Recuerda, tú eres yo y yo soy tú. Cada persona que viene en nuestro camino son nuestros maestros, como tú eres el maestro de esas personas. Y si te están causando dolor, tienes que poner atención. ¿Qué es lo que te causa ese dolor? Porque ese es el maestro de esa persona que viene a enseñarte a cómo vivir con esa experiencia y que tienes que aprender de eso. Y cuando lo ves, lo entenderás. So, ámate. Love yourself. This life, it's a privilege to be alive. Time is so short. This life is so short. Not even a blink of an eye for the universe. Look at the scope of your existence. Where you reside in this planet, Mother Earth, our mother. Everyone in this planet is your brother, your sister. We're all here to learn to live this experience. So the more you become, you wake your consciousness, the more you'll understand why we're here. There's no coincidence we'll be placed in this planet far, far, far away, unreachable to other universes, to other galaxies. Because we're here to learn, to understand why we're here. And when you understand that we're all the same and we all belong here, there should be no borders, none of that drama, none of those rules. That's man-made. We're not looking at the higher consciousness. So, love yourself. Learn to love yourself. Because once you love yourself, you love your neighbors. You love life. You love everything around you. And I'll close up with this piece. And remember who you are. Always. Ometeo. Okay. You guys can open your eyes. And I hope you have enjoyed this beautiful instrument.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it. I'm going to turn on your guys' mics. You guys don't have to put on your headphones. All right, you guys can speak if you want, but thank you so much for that. That was so needed and so I don't even have words, honestly. Thank you.
It was very healing. I mean, I think it's exactly what you were talking about earlier, how this is just like, you could tell it's something very deeply personal and you're sharing it with us and we could feel it, and it was very relaxing and went through so many emotions in such a short amount of time. So thank you so much for sharing your gift with us.
You're welcome. With pleasure. I just share what, it comes from the heart. And yes, I mean, it's the call,
Wow. Yeah, I went on a journey right now. That was
right. That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, wow, I just kind of felt like I went on a trip there.
All right, that's
it's
beautiful.
good. It's good.
Thank you.
It's not it's not a bad thing. It's definitely a good thing. And it's just, we could really feel like a lot in the music. And I think what you were saying about like the frequencies, like you can really, really kind of get lost in them. So I think I'm gonna have a good night tonight because I'm feeling so
wonderful.
relaxed. I want to go. I'm ready for bed.
Yeah. All right, and I want to thank all the listeners. I hope this music has helped in any way. And if you're interested in learning to play the flute, you can DM me. I can be found in Instagram and as under Xochipilli _spirit. I have flutes available if you need one, so please let me know.
Thank you, Xochipilli
you.
Spirit.
Thank you
He's
so
tagged
much.
in our Instagram, so if folks are interested, he's tagged on our post, and you can reach out to him.
Wonderful, thank you.
Alrighty, everyone. Well, that was it. That is the wrap up of our show. We will be back on air next Monday with Voces Unidas. We'll see who on the crew is able to come out and be out here. We definitely miss Melissa and Teodora. But we know that they're really busy out there. I also want to remind you guys that you guys are tuned into KROJ 101.5 FM, coming to you guys live from our studios here in San Fernando, broadcasting from Panorama City. And like I said, this is the end of our show. This was Las Comadres. I'm Comadre Diosy.
Comadre Maria.
Comadres, Alex.
And
Xochipilli Spirit.
Xochipilli Spirit.
Thank you.
Logging off. Bye, y'all.
Bye,